So we are post-comp now, and it has gone fairly well. We've had some interesting hiccups. It's been a really interesting experience seeing the difference between training in a gym and getting up on the platform in the competition and pulling those lifts. I'm going to quickly run through what happened. I've come away with lots of really interesting stuff that I want to work on and think about. I'll probably write about that instead of talk about it. But this is how it went. So I went in for the first lift, which was squat. Always is. And I went in at 70 kilos, which is a weight that I can usually do for reps in the gym. I'm very comfortable at 70 kilos. And I missed it. I got the lift, but it was disqualified because it didn't make depth. And missing my first lift was somewhat devastating. I was about this close to just taking my toys and going home at that point. But I taught myself out of it, which is good, and got back in there. For my second lift, I asked for the weight to be put up rather than repeating the same lift because it didn't feel like I wasn't strong enough to lift it. It just felt like my technique was there. I rushed, basically. I was a little bit nervous and I rushed the lift and didn't make depth. So in the second, I went in at 72.5, and that was a nice clean rep. Very happy with that. Good stuff. Third one, I went in at 75. And had a little battle in my head with that. I hit what felt like depth, second guessed myself and dropped a little bit lower, and I got 2 red lights on that, which was for a double bounce, basically, because I bounced at the bottom of my squat rather than coming straight back up. Should have trusted myself on the depth in the first go. Lesson learned. My bench was a mess today. My first one went in fine, absolutely fine, and that was at 47.5 kilos, and I was really happy with that. Went in for my second attempt, which is 50. I can normally do 50 in the gym for 2 to 3 reps. But I don't know whether it was nerves or the nervous system impact of having done the first lift, but I was really shaky, and I couldn't get the bar to stay still, which meant that by IPF rules there is a command to press, so you're told when to lower the bar and then you're told when you're allowed to raise it again. Because the bar wasn't still, they didn't tell me to raise it for quite some time, and by then I'd been holding it low. It was like a very long pause press, and I couldn't make that at that weight. Repeated the same weight for the third attempt, exactly the same thing happened. So I got in my press on my first attempt, and that was the only one that I actually got a lift on. Then deadlift. Deadlift is my favourite. Everybody loves deadlift. And deadlift went pretty well. Pretty happy with that. The first one I went out at 105, which is, again, it's a number that I can do for reps in the gym. And that went up, and it went up fine. The second one, I psyched myself out like I have been in the gym since I injured my back. I walked up to the bar, lifted it a little bit, and just felt like I couldn't do it. Put it down again. Third one, I did the same weight and lifted it, no problem. So that is exactly what I've been doing in the gym. I've been walking up to the bar, trying to lift it, failing, getting out of my head, trying again, and having no problem with it. So that was it. So I've made quite a total that I'm fairly happy with. I would have liked to have made that 75 kilo squat. I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't. But other than that, everything has been all right. My bench wasn't my best bench, but considering that 6 weeks ago I was really struggling with bench, and I've put quite a lot of weight on my bench in that time, I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to go back. I've got some video footage which someone very kindly filmed for me, which is brilliant. So I'm going to go back over that footage and have a look. I'm going to have a look at my techniques. I'm going to practice some things in the gym which might help where things are going. And yeah, maybe enter another competition a few months down the line. I want to deload first and make sure that my body is working again properly. I need to properly recover from my back injury, because I'm still feeling some stiffness in my lower back and in my SI joint now, which is coming through in my squat as well. So I want to properly rest that out and get rid of that, and then see what happens next time. So yeah, we've learned some stuff about tactics. I've learned some stuff about how my head works in competition, and decided that I definitely need to have someone to handle me in competition, which means basically somebody to talk me through things and keep my head in the right place and keep my focus in the right place. And it's given me some ideas as to where my training's going to go next. So I'm going to go home, I'm going to eat some food, because it's as if I haven't been eating food all day. And then I'm probably going to sit down and write my next 6 weeks worth of programming.